Hi there. I am your GM for the evening, the Prankster, and this is another campaign by Blades and Blasters. We have called this campaign Liberty's Bulwark, and we are playing in the Pathfinder 2E system. Tonight I have with me three players, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves based on their order in Discord, so that way they're not surprised. Go ahead.
You might need to tell us the order in Discord because
Oh, okay, my bad. Maybe I should just start this over. I feel bad. This was clumsy. I'm sorry.
take two.
Take two. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to Blades and Blasters. I am your GM this evening, the Prankster, and tonight I have gathered with me three players, Sim, Bees, and Wander. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and their character. Sim?
What's up? I play Madden. Madden's orc, half orc from the fighting pits. Joined the freedom fighters to help free the land of Osmodeus, and hates everybody who worships him because it's a way to slavery.
Thanks. Bees?
I'm playing Milo Epley, the young cleric of Sarenrae. I've got this little text I wrote. It said, "Young and devout to his calling, Milo is rarely seen without wearing his fine golden vestments of Sarenrae. Clean shaven, he couldn't grow a beard if he tried, but he always seeks to look his best. It isn't vanity, but the way he was raised, and evidence of his ambition and drive to be the best in all he does, all in the name of Sarenrae."
Great. And Wanderer.
I play Sabriel Shadowtome. He is an elven wizard, a scholar who is dedicated to improving himself and his craft, and has never quite forgiven himself for not being able to save his master during the uprising a few years ago.
Thank you. Well, y'all, how about we go ahead and jump in? After a long journey, Milo, Rigzin, Madden, and Sabriel finally made it to the town of Akasazi, the location of suspected Asmodeus worship. The town appeared to be a small fishing village over the water itself. The crew was immediately met with rain and fog that pervaded the town and entire area. Nonetheless, a helpful aquatic elf, a half-elf, assisted them in bringing their gear and bags inside of the tavern. As the party entered the tavern, they discovered that the whole town was filled with aquatic elves and half-aquatic elves. They could feel the tension in the air as it seemed the residents were unwelcoming and suspicious of these adventurers. Thankfully, the tavern seemed far more amiable after Sabriel bought drinks for everyone present. Few rumors were picked up, and the group went to bed. Waking up the next morning, they decided the best course of action was to speak to the mayor of the town. On their way, though, they came across a merchant who was openly selling items that were devoted to Asmodeus himself. A small corner of the store had tabards hanging with blood-red pentagrams, and Asmodeus's holy text, the Asmodean monograph, was on display. After a moment's discussion, Sabriel was chosen to speak to the merchant and inquire about the goods. The group mostly stayed back as Sabriel purchased the goods, who expressly stated his desire to destroy all of it. The merchant relented, but was tight-lipped about the source of these materials. He did state he'd be willing to give up a name should they help the town to deal with a small reef claw infestation on the west in a prime fishing area. After this, Milo and Sabriel went outside of the town to burn all of the Asmodean items. Rigzin and Madden went to speak to the mayor, who asked for further help investigating the possible appearance of sea devils to the north. As Rigzin and Madden were leaving the town, they could see Sabriel and Milo setting the Asmodean artifacts ablaze with holy fire. The group then made west to deal with the Riftclaw infestation, and after a difficult battle with beasts they fished out of the water, they carried their carcasses back home as both a sign of their victory and a meal of shellfish for the evening. For the first time in a while, they felt pretty good about the work before them and the progress they were making. Your party is currently on the shore, I envision, making its way back towards the town of Akasazi, which is to the east of you currently. As you all are marching with Rift Claws in tow, perhaps it's Madden leading the way with Grigson, Saber, and Milo kind of taking up the rear. You see, I'm going to go ahead and share this as well. The camera kind of pans in on Milo, taking up the back, perhaps with a smile, being able to have taken care of everything and help his party actually take care of these Rift Claws. Felt good to be empowered, I imagine. But the camera kind of fades out and fades up on an entirely different scene. We see a young Milo running down the dirt street of the trade district, book bag in hand. He passes a fishery, tannery, etc. Out of breath, he rushes into a quaint shop with dusty windows. A wooden sign hangs out front that says Epley's Fine Outfits. Milo's mother is beautiful. Dark curly hair. Clearly a young mother, she worked hard to establish her business as a single mother to Milo. When Milo enters, you can see a worried look on his face, clearly distraught from something that had happened. We see Milo's mother rummaging through all types of racks of clothes, hurriedly sorting fine clothes into various piles. She too has a varied work on her face. Milo enters.
Mother, are you okay? What happened to the shop?
Everything will be okay. Everything will be fine, young Milo. She kind of like leans in close, grabbing his face, kind of stroking his head.
You know all the raids last night. They set shops on fire. They even set fire to the church. They killed Father Petrov.
Milo's mother, clearly more intent, still holding her son's face in her hand, takes a deep breath and brings him close, hugging him, attempting to calm Milo, reassuring him. It's okay. I'm aware of the awful things that were happening last night. You could see a tear running down her cheek. We'll be safe. We'll be safe. We'll be safe. There's just a lot of new laws, and we need to be very careful to follow them. Can you help me sort the inventory?
Yes. Why is everything on the floor? What?
Just everything that looks fine or embroidered, I need you to put into a pile for me, Milo. Do you understand?
Yes, Mother.
There's a startling loud knock at the door. Almost a pounding. You could see both Milo and his mother, who cower instinctively as the mother calls out sheepishly, with a gulp. Yes, come in, we're open. The door swings open as the silhouette of a figure enters the shop. Young Milo feels the chill go down his back. Almost feels as if an actual devil has entered the room. Unmistakably, a Hell Knight who's dark in armor. Sharp features and a helmet that obscures the identity of this man. This particular Hell Knight is shorter than his powerful knock would have led one to expect, but his short stature does nothing to lessen the overwhelming sense of darkness and intimidation that emanates from him as his presence darkens the dress shop. As he stomps in with his armor clanging, he speaks.
You there?
Yes.
Have you been taking care of all of the materials in this shop?
Mother?
Yes, sir. We know of the new laws and we're doing everything that we can. The knight, nonetheless, his glare goes from Milos Mother to Milo in an instant.
Did I ask you, a woman? I'm asking the head of the household, this boy. Young boy, are you aware of what happened last night?
I know there are many shops that no longer exist. He just shudders in fear on the floor, not knowing, not even wanting to look at the knight in the face.
The knight in this black armor draws in close to Milo, almost feeling the fear come off of him, and leans in close. Milo catches a whiff of sulfur that seems to flow from the slits of his helm.
I hope you are aware that the worship of Sarenrae is strictly forbidden. Asmodeus is the one true god of Cantargo, as well as all of the Empire of Cheliax. It is also important for you to understand.
And he looks menacingly around the shop, specifically at the clothing that's embroidered.
That all embroidered clothing is strictly prohibited without the city's permission. No one is allowed to wear it anymore, except for agents of House Thrune or the Church of Asmodeus. Do you understand me, boy?
Yes, sir. Milo is.
He nods.
Just for the record, Milo's a 13-year-old boy. This is his mother's shop, but he feels very strange answering on her behalf.
Should be clear, too, that this is before the events that happened in our first session.
Right.
Excellent. You'll be required to apply for a permit to continue to be able to craft your wares, especially those that are embroidered. Do you understand everything, boy?
Yes, sir. He just is, again, lip quivering, just trying his best to stay strong and pretend like he's the man of the house when there really is no man of this house.
Good.
The Hell Knight turns around, beginning to make his way out of the shop, but before he leaves, he stops at the threshold of the building.
One more thing. Proper deference must now be paid to her internal magistrix, Queen Abigail II of the thrice-damned House of Thrune.
He takes a look at the side of the door where there is a portrait of what appears to be a young woman with a sword, a tattoo on her face, and a beautiful dress. She almost looks kind of whimsical.
This portrait is not the proper size, and it must be portrayed prominently in the building's entrance. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
The Hell Knight looks at the two of them and nods, leaving the shop alone with mother and son standing in the midst of all of it. As he leaves, the light of the shop visibly brightens as Milo and his mother both collapse into each other in tears. We see a fade out of this scene and a fade back into the scene on the shore, where the crew is continuing to walk with the rift claws in hand back towards Akasazi. All right, y'all. It is yours. You are currently to the west. Going to go ahead and move your token so that you're not too terribly far away from Akasazi. You got out to this spot, I believe we said last session, around noon, and you should be able to move it now. Sorry about that. And as a result, you know that you can make it back to Akasazi, and you might be able to actually go north today to take care of the other mission that you were essentially given, which was to investigate the possible presence of something called a sea devil. How do you all proceed?
We got some meat out of these things, correct?
Yes, you guys essentially are carrying their carcasses. You haven't butchered them yet, but I believe the plan was to bring them back to Akasazi to both eat and proof and to offer food to the citizens there.
Sure. Oh, what do you think, gentlemen? Shall we return with our goods here, or should we stick around and look for these sea devils? Milo is, again, he's gotten a little bit of a taste for blood. He's really excited about getting after some devils.
Sabriel is a little bit more concerned because things were a little bit touch and go for a while, and he sort of looks thoughtful and rubs his chin for a moment and then says, I had the feeling that the sea devils were further up the coast. Is that right, Prankster?
Correct. You know that the sea devils were north.
Yeah. So we could potentially, well, carry at least one of these things with us, and then proceed through the village to find the sea devil.
We can at least drop off these remains and show them that we are good fighters and that we've made good on our promise.
Sabriel nods and says, that is true.
I suppose I can use a rest. I have quite a bit of energy left in these. But yes, we should return to the village.
Sabriel looks across at Madden to see how he's doing.
Madden's stacking stuff up. Yes, if we'd bound them, they'd be easier to carry. There's more than enough food to share with the village as well.
Very well. Sabriel's got some rope. Yeah, he does. He's got some rope, so he'll help. He'll help with that. And he's got several sacks actually, so we can, if they'll fit in a sack, then he can put one in a sack, and that might be another good way of carrying them.
Milo is Milo would be a little bit dainty about it because he doesn't want to get his vestments stinky. He wants to take good care of them, so he might help tie them up, but he doesn't want to get the fish too close to his clothing.
You guys begin kind of tying up the rift claws to make them a little bit easier, and sure enough, you make it so that Madden himself could pretty much take care of it. You begin making your way back towards Akasazi. You're very close to the town at this point, and you have a choice essentially to continue north or to go to Akasazi. As you guys are trying to decide what to do next, Rigzin actually speaks up and offers to take the Rift Claws into town to begin butchering them to hopefully make a good show with the rest of the town. His hope is that they make some friends, show that you guys are here in goodwill, and he thinks that a meal might be able to kind of help that a lot.
And Sabriel nods and says, I can't help but agree. I noticed there was a distinct thawing when we bought them drinks in the tavern. I'm sure this will do more of the same. Not just because it's sharing food that they need, but also because we've ended the threat as they asked.
Yes, Rigzin, you are most gracious and kind. I'm sure that they will all welcome you with open arms.
Rigzin nods and essentially displays his gratitude, telling you thank you. And with that, he goes ahead and takes the Rift Claws and heads back into town. With one last turn back, he says, "Take care of that sea devil." Gives you a nod and begins marching into town.
Yes, I think we have our work cut out for us.
Yes. Do any of us know what a sea devil is? I've got a feeling we may have asked this before.
You know what? I don't remember. So I'll allow you guys to do a knowledge check again.
Yeah, I think we did the knowledge check on those reef claw things last time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So that'll work. So what you're going to do is, for those, everybody can do this. You can, in Pathfinder 1E, you could not roll knowledge checks untrained. In Pathfinder 2E, they made it so that you could roll any check untrained, any skill untrained. The only difference is people who are trained in a skill essentially unlock other uses of the skill. But everybody can roll just to see if they know. And so this would actually be a nature check. It's a good roll.
Yes, let's get those low ones out now.
Yeah, right. So Milo, yes, you've actually heard of sea devils before. Perhaps it's because of your training as a priest, just being able to kind of essentially figure out what is around the area. But you have heard tale of mythology of these essentially like amphibious creatures in the water who are smart. They're not dumb. But like whole communities of them that live under the water. I'm going to let you ask me 2 questions that you would like to know about them, and I'll do my best to answer.
May I ask if they have any special defenses?
No. They do not have any, like, as Milo begins trying to think about it, he can't think of any special defenses that come to mind. What does come to mind about these particular things, though, is perhaps like you read it in like an old tome or text. Like you know how in 1800s Europe they would have, or maybe even 1600s, they'd have maps, and there'd be like these animated or illustrated like dragons or giant sea creatures in the water. You kind of picture that with a creature with giant red eyes and like a fin off the top of its head. And there's a small blurb about how they were particularly vicious and would essentially like cause their prey to bleed. And that is usually how that they would kill them. Wasn't through just outright slashing them to death or something, essentially by causing them to bleed so much that they just bled out.
Yikes. Okay. I would report this to my friends that they're known for making you bleed. They don't just kill you outright, they want you to suffer. Is this all,
Lovely.
all that I know of them?
Devils
I think the-
indeed.
I think the other big thing that you would know too is that they have the ability to. There was rumors, there's mythology about how they had the ability to telepathically communicate with sharks.
Sheesh. I sound so nice. I would report this as well. And they're also not known to be alone. That they typically live in groups, so I don't know that we're going to see one devil. I fear there may be many. Yeah, they might be teaming up with sharks, no less. If
Oh,
my
wonderful.
training is correct at all.
Well, we should stay out of the water then. Make them come to us if we possibly can.
Yes, it's wise.
Perhaps we should make some nets and drag him ashore.
Good idea. Worked well with the reef claws.
Yes, taking him out of their element. Make them fight in ours.
I like it. Or maybe we could actually get some nets in town. Be quicker.
Or use grappling hooks.
Aye, we still have those, don't we?
Yes. Once we latch onto them, we pull it and then it latches into their skin. They'll have little choice but to come with us.
I'm glad you're on our side.
Sabriel smiles at that.
All right. So how would you like to proceed? Do you want to attempt to make your own nets? Would you like to go into Akasazi and try and get some? Or would you like to just proceed?
I think the grappling hook idea sounds good.
Yeah, a little snag fishing.
All right. Okay. So your party essentially decides to continue to head north towards the rumored areas where there were supposedly sea devils, not too terribly far from Akasazi. You pass a lot of things kind of on the shore. It's actually a beautiful and serene thing, despite the rain that seems to constantly being assailing you and the mist. You see a lighthouse meant to keep things safe. You see ships safe, not things. It's beautiful beaches and the like, and even wonderful coves. Go ahead and roll me. So how are you attempting to hunt these things down, if they even exist? Because right now, for all intents and purposes, they're only rumors.
I think we'll start off with the places where people say they've seen them. What accounts have we heard? And if we can't recall, we can always go back into town and ask. But there were people kind of sent us to a particular area, so we can try that and see if we can actually see anything there. Go from there.
Why don't you roll me a Sabriel? Why don't you roll me a society check? Society is kind of a catch-all, like knowledge local. In this sense, I'm kind of using it as you're kind of like piecing it all together in your mind.
He's got it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're trying to piece all of it together, and perhaps it's just that the rumors are just very different. Some people are talking about crags, other people are talking about like beautiful beaches, and it's hard for you to kind of make hide or hair.
So yeah, Sabriel will pass on his confusion to the others. He'll say, "I can't put the stories together. There's too much inconsistency."
Well, we could always just see what we see. If we have to find out more, we'll go find out more. Something tells me that if we hang about, we might find them.
Sure.
Well, they might find us. He smiles.
It does feel strange to be searching for devils, but here we are.
If y'all would be so kind and roll me survival checks, I would really appreciate it.
I really wish you'd stop asking me to roll bad dice here. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Sabriel's got
Hey, I'm trying to help you get them out of
Untrained.
your system, Sim. It's really a mercy. Okay, so Sabriel, I think how this kind of is manifest is there's one particular story that sticks out to you, and as you are just where like the person described areas like in very clean detail. They described kind of like a rock jutting out of an ocean with kind of a near the bay with a ladder on top, and it was kind of this beautiful grotto. And as they're talking about it, you're kind of piecing it all together as you're walking along the shoreline, and you realize you could kind of see all of it in the distance, not too terribly far away. So give me just a second here, y'all. Can you tell I'm from Texas, y'all? Ooh, I need to actually pull Riggs in out of the combat tracker. Excuse me. And I'll allow you, you are on the southern portion of this map near the bottom. So if you're looking for yourself, that is where you are. Feel free to go ahead and move your tokens wherever you'd like them to be. But yeah, you feel, Sabriel, like this is the area that one particular rumor described. There's just something about it that's just sticking out in your brain. What do you
Oh,
all
sorry,
do?
I was muted. Sabriel, as they approach, he'll be kind of looking around the area and obviously taking in several of the landmarks and sort of muttering to himself, yes, yes. Ah, yes, the rock, yes. Ah, that fits, that fits. And as they get closer, he'll suddenly say, yes, I'm certain of it. And we'll turn to the others and say, this fits the location described in one of the better accounts. We may have some luck here. Let's proceed cautiously.
Hearing that, Madden would definitely pull out his sword, rest it on his shoulder.
Milo never is never without his holy symbol. He holds it in his hand, but he wants to proceed stealthily and see if we can see them before they see us.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Bam.
Yeah.
Place those
Okay.
good rolls.
Yeah. So, Milo, as you are kind of looking down the beach, sure enough, you see kind of like several creatures kind of milling about, not too terribly far away from you. It appears that they do not see you, and they're somewhat far off.
Jeez, those are creepy.
Some are kind of, yeah, some of them are kind of like on the water line. Others, another is kind of around this, what appears to be an abandoned campsite. We kind of see it kind of sticking a spear into the dirt.
I would point this out to the group. So quiet, quiet. They're on the shoreline. They're not even in the water. They're just ahead.
Perhaps we should grapple one of them with the hook and draw the others with him.
Perhaps Milo's like just kind of hiding behind the rocks here, a bit freaked out,
Yeah.
despite all of his tough talk.
We don't want them slipping back into the water.
No, I suppose not.
So Madden would definitely want to get close enough without being spotted to grapple hook one and yank it towards him.
Sure. Why don't you roll me a stealth check?
Oh boy.
You're a barbarian. Stealth is like one of your best skills, right?
Yeah.
Sneaky Stompy. There you go. There you go.
Apparently, it is one of your best skills.
This is the one you've been waiting for.
Is it?
Yeah.
All the bad rolls, all these games.
See, I helped you get them out of the way. I'm a great GM. All right, so you, Madden, begin. I'm going to just move your token ahead a little bit. And if I'm going too far, tell me. But, yeah. And you all, Milo, Sabriel, if you all are staying where you are, you don't need to roll a stealth check.
I would move up to this point because I feel like I'm still obscured.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check as well, just to make certain you don't, like, biff it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That would be called a biff, right? I mean,
Oh, no.
That is what we like to call a natural biff.
don't we roll low in this system? Isn't it one like great when, you're, like, when you roll it? But only when you roll it, though. I feel like that's how it is.
We get to call low or high after we make the roll.
Okay, so Madden, you are expertly, like, not making a sound. I could picture it in my head. You have like the grappling hook in one hand, and you're slowly beginning to like twirl it, right? Not even making a sound. Sabriel just standing in back, just quiet as a mouse, and you can see the young, impetuous Milo, who is creeping up. I picture him like, he's just like so zealous and wants to be involved in everything that he is like maybe climbing a little bit too high on the rock, and he actually slips, and there is a loud noise. Milo or Madden, you are the only one that can do. I'll let you take one action before anything else happens.
So, being there, I'm assuming I'm not in range for a grapple hook because that'd be that'd be quite a throw.
It would have to be quite a throw. By the way, just to remind you guys, you can depress your left and right mouse buttons to be able to bring up the ruler like I'm doing. You could do it. It's not impossible. It's about a 30-yard thing. So what I would ask is you can make an athletics check, and essentially I would add like a -3 to your roll. Actually -4 to your roll based on the distance, because it's 20 feet wouldn't impose it, and then 40. So it's 2. Yeah. So if you want to make an athletics roll at -4 to see if you're able to grapple this thing and start pulling it towards you, you can.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. -2, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, -4. My apologies.
-4.
Yeah. Not impossible. There we go.
This -4 from after that.
There you go.
Oh, baby. Okay. So, Madden, despite Milo's impetuousness, despite the fact that he's like face planted and he's looking up, maybe a thumbs up, just to say that he's okay, you're probably shaking your head like, son of a bitch, and you throw it out there. And even though he's caught the attention of all of them, you manage to essentially like entrap this closest one, like get a really good hook on him. So let's go ahead and enter into combat. For those of you who forgot, you can go to the combat tracker in the top right corner of Fantasy Grounds. It's the 2 swords clashing. And I'm going to need everybody to go ahead and make me some initiative checks.
Nice rolls.
Yeah, very nice rolls. Very good initiatives, y'all. I need to roll on my guys now. Give me just a second.
Now that I have them, I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
The dog who got the car. The Madden who caught the sea devil.
I'm gonna wrap the rope around my waist. That way he can't leave me.
Okay. I accidentally. Gosh darn it. I wanted to show you what these Criggers look like. They have like tentacles for legs with makeshift spears in their hands and jagged teeth in their mouths. Honestly, they almost look like goblins, but instead of having legs, they have tentacles. The larger creature, who's actually standing on the beach with spear in hand, definitely looks a little bit more menacing. Almost like a lizard with a fin off the back. You're reminded of that picture. It comes back to you in your mind's eye, Milo, of the sea devil that you saw so long ago in the temple. Okay, Madden, you are up first. You have this thing in hand. At the very least, it appears grappled.
Let's bring it closer to me.
Sure.
Yeah, essentially, I'm gonna start trying to drag him towards me, just to make sure he doesn't try to get away or something. Even though I know he's not gonna, the general idea is still there.
Oh, my bad. Sabriel, I accidentally imposed a condition on you, but I got rid of it. My apologies.
Thank you.
There we go. So I'm just going to put grabbed on this Grindelau, and all right, top of the turn order. So my apologies. Can you repeat what you're doing again?
I want to bring him closer. I want to make sure he's snagged good. As I
Sure.
get him closer, I'm going to wrap the rope around my waist. I ain't moving up towards him. They can come to me.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check because you're like straight up just pulling him towards you. .22, man. Yeah, you've definitely got all your cruddy rolls out of the way. That's a good for you. Okay, let me go ahead and roll opposed athletics to essentially like try and get out. No, you got this thing. He's like all trapped up. He's thrashing as much as he can. So what I'm going to say is, with because everybody has 3 actions, you can essentially use, because he's a small creature, I'll let you use 1 action to pull him, like we'll say 15 feet. So if you want to, you can use your other 2 actions to continue to pull him, or you can do something else.
Yeah, we'll pull him. We'll pull him 15. Yeah, we'll pull him 1. We'll leave him there.
Right where he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is I was thinking about wrapping it around my waist so I kind of like drag him, and if I need to back up, I can bring him with me. I think what I'm gonna do is use my turns to wrap the rope around the javelin and jam it into the ground so he's staked.
Oh, okay. All right, I like that. So 1 action, you grab your javelin and shove it into the ground. Your 2nd action, you tie the rope around it so he doesn't go anywhere. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that sounds good to me. All right. Grindelau 1 is up, and he's going to go ahead and 5, 15, 20, 25. This guy jumps into the water, and you can see him just kind of like shooting through the water with his tentacles propelling him. And this guy's able to get right up into Madden's area on this particular turn. Spends his whole movement to do it, but he gets it. Yeah, you see that the guy, the stronger lizard one, essentially on the ground. he's speaking some type of language, essentially trying to give them orders, it seems like, as they begin running towards it.
Which type of language?
Does anybody speak Aquan?
Wow, that's a. I don't know. No. You.
Okay. Yeah, just shouting orders. This guy, in the meantime, 5, 10, 15, 20, goes up to his buddy here and is going to essentially try to take his claw on the rope where this guy is entangled, trying to help release him. Yeah, and so he gets a pretty clean hit on the rope and is able to just like sever it from where you are, Madden. And with that, he just kind of like looks at you and hisses and screams and yells on that note. This one is now no longer grabbed. It appears to be free from the grapple hook. Milo, you are up.
Well, again, shortly after just like biffing this climb shack, it's like, whoa! Looks at this, the one who just swam up on his friend, and again, gripping his holy symbol, he just thrusts it forward, holding his fist forward, and he just what he says, he just screams out, "For the sun and the fury!" And he he launches his what is it called? Divine Lance. It's 2 action. Sorry.
No worries. You're good. That will hit the Grindelau. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay. So Milo shoots this divine lance up. The creature screams as black ichor begins to kind of come out of him. Milo, you have 1 action left. My apologies.
I will cast guidance onto stand firm. Give him guidance. Give guidance to the guy as well.
Sure. And guidance gives him what, a +1 to hit?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, it'll give
Great.
him +1 to an attack roll, perception check, saving throw, or skill check. Until the next turn.
Great. Alright, Sabriel, you are up.
Okay, Sabriel's out of everything except cantrips, so he's going with oh no, he's got his focus spell actually. He's going to use that. So he's going to cast Force Bolt, and it's like a magic missile, but there's just one of them, and he will aim it at this one, Grindylow 1.
Go for it.
Oh. And I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Hold on, give me just a second.
You're good, buddy.
There we go.
Hey, there you go.
5
All
points
right,
of
so
damage.
5 points of damage to this Grundalau. So yeah, between the two of you, totally beating up on this creature as it screams in agony. This one who is just got freed, essentially kind of takes an action to kind of like free himself from the loose strands of rope that are around him, and then will begin to make his way towards you, Madden. So let me go ahead and do that. And that's his whole turn. It is Grindalau 3, who is in the water up there and who's actually going to get in. All of them seem to be converging on Madden. Okay. And speaking of Madden, you are up.
All right. Oops. was trying to minimize the window. All right. I guess only a couple things left to do here. We're gonna hit the grindly low, whatever one's in the kidney quarter for me on 1. So
Sure.
that way it's the one less. I forgot how to target him. How to target him again?
It's
click.
left control and then left click on your target after highlighting yourself. So highlight yourself, then left control, left click on your target. Yep, there you go.
All right.
Yep. That is a crit.
That's awesome.
All right, go ahead and there's no confirms in 2E, so you just go ahead and roll your damage. Actually, roll me a D100 really quick, will you?
Yeah. Is there a D1? Do what, 10?
Oh, yeah, you gotta right click on the D10, and then you'll see a percentage, and
There
that's
you
the
go.
D100. 89. All right. So that's actually more than 2 times damage. That's 3 times damage on my chart. So go ahead and just roll damage, and you'll probably obliterate this thing. Yeah, it's super dead. Madden, describe your kill.
So after seeing this thing swim up on me, getting my attention, and then watching my comrades kill it, will beat it up severely. Madden just gives it a full swing, and it actually surprised him how much damage it does, and then he kind of smiles seeing the lifeless body of the grandma next to him, and he turns and looks at the other two. At this point, he's going to go into a rage.
Okay.
So let me turn that on. All right, and that's my second turn, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's your second action.
All right, and then we'll just go ahead and move up into the other two, since there's no advantage of waiting them to get closer because they can move and attack.
So actually, one small thing, small correction. You can actually delay an action, and so like you can set up a trigger. So, for instance, if this thing moves into my range, I will attack it, and so you can actually hold one of your actions to kind of like causes a trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So if you'd like to do that, if not, do whatever you want.
Yeah, we will delay, because I was seeing, because I'm thinking, that you can move and attack in this, right? Or is movement an action?
So yeah, so everything is just like one action. So
Okay, so movement is an action.
yeah.
All right, that's it. I'm thinking before where it's just a separate thing. So yeah, we'll set it to a delay for any one of those two grinding lows to step in the striking distance.
Okay, sounds good. Milo, you are on deck, so get ready. This thing begins to 20, 25. Okay, and this thing, from where it is actually going to go ahead and it triggers something. You see it begin like frothing at the mouth as its eyes go black, and it gets like really just into it. Madden, you would know that you have a kinship with this thing. You feel like it's activated something that you yourself use. Milo, you are up.
Yikes. Milo will, I suppose seeing the devil will want to target that person just close enough. Again, kind of wind up his holy symbol and throw another lance, divine lance, this devil, and with gusto, because it is a proper devil. The attacks.
Okay, that'll hit.
Rolls damage.
Okay.
Check this. On a hit, the target takes this equal to this. What's this? Double damage. Okay, never mind. You're good.
Okay.
And
All
again,
right.
I'll
so-
give Madden guidance once more. He still has it, I think, from last time.
Okay, going ahead and giving him guidance as well. Sabriel, you are up.
Okay, Sabriel is. Yeah, so Sabriel's going to move a bit closer.
Sure.
So it was both buttons, wasn't it, for measuring? 60 feet. Okay, and I guess he can move 30, so he's going to move to there. Yeah, okay. So he's going to move to there. And then he is going to cast Electric Arc on Grindylow 2 and 3.
Okay,
So-
you cast Electric Arc on Grindelau 2 and 3. Go ahead and roll me the to hit.
Yeah. I'm 17.
17 totally hits. Okay, so here's what happens. Your electric arc kind of like gets carried by the rain. You can see it almost in slow-mo, Sabriel. It's like each jolt hits like each piece of rain.
Actually,
And,
sorry, I've got a feeling it shouldn't have been that. I think 17's actually their save.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're correct. It is a reflex save.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. No, that's my bad. I totally should have caught that. Okay. Okay. One of them fails because he's essentially like on the ground and he's less able to. But the guy on the shore. So I have a question. Does electric arc, when you use it against two creatures, is it how am I trying to say this? Does it does only the first one get the reflex save? And then it just automatically hits the second one?
It doesn't say that, no. It just says one or two creatures saving throw basic reflex.
Okay, so then we'll give each one the saving throw.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a cantrip, so I presume they both get a save.
That's fair. So yeah, you see the electricity like hit from bam to bam to bam to bam to bam. And as a result, like it hits this one that's on the beach. Again, he's a little bit more clumsy because he's on he's just standing there on tentacles, and it's harder for him to move around. And it hits him, and I'm just ruling because it's raining. The electric arc is going to do double damage to him. So go ahead and roll 2d4 for that second one. The other one dives under the water just in time before he gets hit at all.
Cool, so I'll roll the d4 plus 4, and then I'll roll another d4. So,
Cool. All right, so yeah, 9 points of damage as this thing just like gets fried, super fried.
nice.
Okay. It is. Is that your whole turn?
It is indeed, yep.
Okay. It is Grindelau 2's turn, and he is going to go ahead and move in 5. It's his first action, and go ahead and take your action, Madden.
That'd be my third turn, right?
Your third action that you essentially have saved for when it moved in close.
All right, and only my second attack. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, that is just a miss. This thing closes the distance with its first action as you kind of like swing, and it finds perches as it tries to essentially tentacle you. Let's go ahead and use the tentacle attack. It's a 15. That is a miss on Madden. You know what, though? It's going to attempt to spear you with its... Oh, no, it's going to attempt to tentacle you with its second attack. But this is at a -5, so that actually will not hit. That'll be a 13, so that is a miss. Okay. That is its whole turn. This guy is up, and he is going to also move in 5 feet. He will also target Madden, and he will attempt to tentacle Madden as well. It's a natural 1. That is automatically a critical miss. Let me go ahead and roll on my critical fail chart to see what happens. I keep forgetting to actually bring it up. There it is. 66. Okay, so it essentially, what happens is it goes wide and you're not trained in attacks of opportunity, but it leaves open an attack of opportunity for you, Madden, right now. So go ahead and take it if you would like.
Yeah, why not?
That's the highest hit bonus, correct?
Yep, with the highest hit bonus. 12. Okay, that is just a miss. All right, it's going to attempt to tentacle you again, Madden.
If he had his guidance was rated a 13, still a
13 is...
Wouldn't that be with the guidance, the +8?
10. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, because he has the effect
Oh, it already was
+1.
on. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, his second attack will hit. The tentacle does hit, and so he is going to hit you, Madden, for 5 points of damage, plus he gets a free grab attempt on you. So let me go ahead and make that grab with an athletics check. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check opposed, Madden.
Okay. Like number 4 lately.
Yeah, he gets these clunging suckers that after he tentacles you, he just like clings onto you and appears to not want to let go. That is his whole turn. Madden, you are up.
Alright, so I'm grappled. Is that correct?
Yes, you're currently grabbed. Let me go ahead and put that condition on you.
Alright, so before I could do much of anything, I have to wrestle free, right?
You can attack, but essentially you do at a penalty.
Okay, and then if to contest the grab, I would just throw another left athletics.
Yes, you can contest the grab with another athletics if you would like.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that first.
Sure. That unfortunately does not break his grapple on
Of course. Alright.
you. Well, actually, let me re-roll it, because I think I have to re-roll it. I was using his old roll. Natural 20 on the die. His suckers are on you.
Alright, then in that case, we're just going to start beating it until let's go. So which one has me? It's the one to the 3, right? Grinding little 3?
Yeah, Grundylow 3 is the one that is attached to you.
Okay. So... Now
That
what?
is a critical hit. Go ahead and roll me a D100, man.
Alright, is that with the penalty? Critical still? I'm not sure what the penalty was.
Yeah, it's still a critical.
Alright.
Okay, 60. Alright, 2 times damage. So first roll your damage. Holy crap. Okay, so yeah, this thing grabs you, and you can picture it. Its suckers are all over you, Madden. Go ahead and describe your kill.
So after trying to break free, pushing it, and it gets tighter and tighter, Madden, his enraged self, eyes glow red, starts just hitting it with the sword over and over again, as hard as he can. And he just feels the grip let go, and he pulls the rest of the suckers off. And he looks over at the other one. You're next.
One action left. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and swing at it.
Oh, Madden is on fire this week. That's a natural 20, so that's a critical hit. Yeah, go ahead and roll D100 first to see what happens. If anything extra happens. Nope, just 2 times damage. So yeah, you hit it really hard. Go ahead and roll your damage. Okay, I didn't even need you don't even need to roll the extra D12. Your normal damage just straight up kills him. So go ahead and describe your kill.
As he turns and as he tells him that you're next, he just starts slamming the sword into him. Not even his life, his body's laying there, and he just keeps going, hacking it up. Whatever color its blood is just getting everywhere, and he looks over at the one frothing in his mouth. Coming to get it.
Okay. Let me see here.
Look at what ugly things you do with this.
Shoot. Yeah, I am looking at what ugly things I can. Unfortunately, I accidentally just took them off.
That works
Yeah.
too.
Indicating he's fled.
Yeah, are you scared? I would be.
I wouldn't take Madden on.
Give me just a second. Okay. There we go. Bam. Alright, so first thing he does is moves up. This guy is absolutely raging at this point. He's clearly very angry. Like I think I already said that as much. And with this wicked-looking spear, he goes to engage Madden. So here it comes. Okay, Madden, that's going to hit with a 26. Forgot to target you, though. What is your AC right now, Madden?
I'm raging, so it's -1, so it's 16.
Okay. I rolled a 26. That is plus 10. That exceeds your AC, so that is a critical hit by this creature. Let's go ahead and roll the damage. Okay, not bad. Okay, so you take this huge spear hit, Madden. You're clearly not in good shape after that. And then with its second attack, it's going to attempt to bite you with its wicked-looking teeth. This thing is raging. Oh god, that's a natural 20. Okay. I'm not kidding. If you don't believe me, you can see later.
He's only got 6 hits.
This might bring Madden down.
No, it never brings me down.
Okay. 11 points of damage. Madden, you are knocked unconscious and dying.
So how would
you are at... Go ahead.
how would my orc ferocity work? Because it says reaction.
Okay, so your orc ferocity works. Let's go ahead and double. I need to look at the ability just to double check.
I can read it off to you. Fiercest metal runs through your blood, and you refuse to fall from your injuries. You avoid being knocked out and remain at 1 hit point, and your wounded condition increases by 1. It says once per day. It's a reaction, and it says trigger. You would be reduced to 0 hit points, but not immediately killed.
Okay, so yeah, you begin to feel like really woozy on your feet, Madden, but all of a sudden you like bear down and you're still standing despite this grievous spear and bite wound on your body. You are at wounded 1. Essentially that means that take off this grabbed thing. Essentially, what that means, Madden, is that the next time you are knocked unconscious, you won't go to dying 1, you'll go to dying 2. And essentially, you hit dying 4, and you're permadead. So it allows you to stave it off for a minute. Okay, that was its turn. Milo, you are up.
I imagine Milo sees something happen with Madden, but we're still concentrating on the sea devil just zealously. This is the first actual devil he's gotten to face down, so he's focused on it. So again, he will throw another lance at him. Yeah, I imagine again with the holy symbol, it's raining,
So-
it's soaked and wet. What's up?
I forgot to mention, from that wound, Madden is actually bleeding, as in he will automatically get 3 points of damage at the end of his next turn and go unconscious.
Wow. Okay. Nevertheless, Milo throws another lance. Great with divine light is cast through the rain toward the creature. The shit roll.
Yeah. Sea Devil dodges out of the way, frothing at the mouth.
I don't think I cannot heal at range with one motion. With one action. So I think Milo will stagger, will get up close enough to be able to touch him. Madden soon. That's what he will do. When he gets
Okay.
close to the devil.
Get close to the devil. Sabriel, you are up.
Okay, Sabriel is going to use telekinetic projectile. He picks up a rock from the beach with magic and hurls it at this creature.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I thought that was a 1. Got freaked out.
Unfortunately, that misses. The creature is able to dodge underneath it. Let me double check on that AC, just so that I'm not... Oh, that's strange. Yep, it is. That will miss.
Okay. And with his other action, what can he do? Yeah, he moves over next to Milo.
Sounds good. Okay. It is the sea... Oh, no, it's Madden's turn. Madden, you are still standing. You are bleeding from your side. What do you do?
Yeah, considering so I'm gonna be bleeding, so my next turn he's gonna go unconscious, correct? So
At the end of this turn, you will be unconscious just from
Gotcha.
the bleed and hit
So
wounded 2.
we're gonna go out in style. We're gonna go ahead and swing with what I got. And attack him.
All right. Okay, that will hit. Your first attack hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Oh, 16 points of damage.
Nice.
You slash this sea devil, and it just kind of like starts shaking from being so angry. All right, second action. That is a critical miss because it is 10 underneath its AC. Go ahead and roll me a D100. Okay, essentially, go ahead.
Sorry, I was wondering. I didn't mean to. Does he have some sort of healing, or did you guys accidentally bring him back at full health? Because I did hit him earlier. I noticed he was full health before this hit, and I did hit him earlier for something.
Divine Lance.
I hit him for 6 points earlier.
Yes.
Just making sure I'm keeping track properly.
That might have been when
Yes.
he disappeared.
I know, I hope so.
Say again.
He disappeared to heal those 6 points.
Oh. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Well, actually, did you hit him before or after he closed in?
Well, that's why I was wondering if he had some kind of heal effect. Because he was back at full health, I saw.
So, that's a really good question, my friend. He does have a small heal effect.
Okay, and I was making sure.
Nope, you're good. You're totally good. Okay. Madden, so here's what happens. You swing, trying to hit him, and you know that your aim is off on this one because he kind of like ducks down to the side, and essentially your sword essentially gets stuck in the sand from you being able to hit it. If you want to like try and just like use the ground and like pull up, you're gonna get an additional -2 on your third attack.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. All right, so roll attack 3, and then we'll add a -2 on it afterwards. Okay, that's just a regular miss. Your sword is in your hand. Okay, it is this guy's turn. First thing he's going to do is attempt to claw you. Why did it roll? Oh, it's because I double-clicked. Okay. Either way, it is a hit. So here comes the damage, Mr. Madden. Why is it rolling all this crazy-ass damage? Okay. It knocks you unconscious, Madden. You are down on the ground this time. And you have... you're essentially at dying 2. Next round, it will be when it is your turn. You will get the opportunity to roll just a flat check. You have to get higher than 11, I think. I'm going to have to look up the dying rules in a second here. But right now, you're at dying 2, and you'll get a chance to come back up next round.
All right.
Okay, this guy closes the distance on Milo and is going to use his spear while laughing in this foul language. This will be at a -5 to hit. Why is it rolling twice? I don't understand. First one was a natural 2 on the die. That is a miss. So you dodge out of the way, definitely, Milo, as this thing tries to skewer you with this. It was a 13 total.
Oh.
Or wait, actually, -5. Maybe it is. No. What's your AC?
17. No, I'm so sorry. That was not my AC. That's my hit points. My AC is only 15.
Okay, yeah, it is not a critical miss. It is just a regular old miss. Milo, you are up.
I want to make sure I understand the rules of dying as well. If I heal him any hit points, is he stabilized and conscious, or do we know that?
Yes, if you heal him anything, he will. His dying 2 gets turned into a wounded 2. He gains all his hit points, and he pops back up into the fight.
Well, in that case, I will use one action to heal him for 1d10. Buddy of mine. Get back up. Not done yet.
If you do a 2-action heal, you'll heal him even more.
I know. I'm getting to the 2 actions to get to see them.
Ah, got it.
So I heal him for 2.
Oh. Does he also get your wisdom modifier as part of that, or
Not
no?
if it's well. Good question. I think there's so many rules that I took.
Well, I tell you what. Let's do this. Go ahead and roll your attack on Divine Lance on the Sea Devil, and then in between now and Madden, you can look it up.
Fair enough. So I at least heal him for 2.
Yeah. He is conscious, but he is prone.
Yeah. No longer targeting him. Now targeting this devil. Another Divine Lance. I say return to hell where you belong. As I throw another lance right at this guy. Oh, yes. That's a crit.
Is it? Oh, that is
That's
awesome.
I was like,
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll damage.
You want me to roll a D100 first or no?
Yeah, roll D100. Thank you for the reminder. I don't know why I accelerated damage to myself. There we go. 47. 2 times damage and target is knocked prone. All right, so you launch this divine lance right into his chest, Milo, and it just straight up knocks him right on his ass. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Sure. Back to hell where you belong.
12 points of damage. Nice. Okay, this thing does not look like it is doing very well. Why does it... What is going on with everything here? Okay. So yeah, Milo, that is your turn. Sabriel, you are up. This thing is prone. Madden is coming back up, and it looks like it's not doing so hot.
Okay. Sabriel backs away, first of all. So he's going to go... Hold on. 30 feet there. Okay. So he's going to move to there. And then he is going to cast... what's he going to cast? He is going to cast Rare Frost.
Okay, go ahead and roll me
Okay.
that to hit.
Oh, no, actually, no. He's going to use telekinetic projectile again. He wants to kill it. So, come on. Oh,
Yeah, so even though it's on the ground, it's able to roll definitely out of the way of the rock that you fling at it.
that was sitting there on 11 for some time.
I know. You know, that's the
These dice
3D
tease
dice.
you.
The 3D dice, I love them. It's just, it's a lot of fun. Okay, Madden, you are up. Your eyes open. You see Milo knock this thing on the ground. What do you do?
So Madden, seeing this thing on the ground next to him, makes eye contact, smiles, and he starts standing up.
Okay. It has a -4 to AC while it is on the ground to receive a melee attack.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give him the melee attack.
Critical fail.
It's gonna he's
Critical.
stab my own foot as I'm stabbing down, thrusting downwards.
Stabs his own foot, goes unconscious.
Oh no!
Are you kidding me?
Okay. That is not a crit fail, but that is a miss. Even with the thing out of the way, it rolls definitely out of the way of your strike.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it one more time.
Okay.
What in the world?
Oof. Okay, yeah, that second attack also misses, but it is also not a crit fail.
And that'd be it, right? 3 turns? One to stand up?
Oh, that is correct. Thank you very much. Okay, it is... Oh! Really quick, before I forget, a reminder, everybody here has a hero point that allows them to make 1 reroll if they use it.
Oh.
That's rules in the book, not my rules.
Well, it didn't show up in my sheet, but I'll go ahead and use it and keep it at a 0 and reroll that.
Okay, go for it.
Go brother 2. There it is. There it is.
I thought that 17 was going to roll over to the 7, and I was going to hear the biggest
I was thinking
cuss.
that. Yeah.
So Madden, this thing rolls out of the way, and it's almost like you planned it. You bring up your sword, it bares its chest to you, and your sword is already coming down. As you plunge it into its chest, blood squirts out, its eyes roll and shake. You twist your sword with a vicious twist and pull it out, and this thing falls to the ground, or its eyes roll back into its head, dead from the battle.
Madden as he pulls his sword up and he kind of wipes it on his leg. That one was a little feisty. And he kind of plunges his sword into the ground and uses it as a crutch for a minute, catch his breath.
We did it. We killed the devil. He's like trembling with excitement.
Yes, we killed the devil, or whatever it was. You did good, lad.
Yes.
That little. Oh, sorry.
No, I did. I just looking down at the devil. He didn't even realize his friend is still like bleeding profusely. To his oh! I'm so sorry. Please sit. Let me take care of you. He pulls out his what do you call it? Medical kit.
Sure.
Whatever it's called. Healer's tools.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, you're still bleeding." Whipping out the bandages, still do a medicine check and all that.
Yeah, sounds good. Go ahead. Are you? So his bleeding has stopped.
Good.
Are you trying to cure critical wounds or heal critical wounds with your medicine check?
I think it's just heal wounds. Yeah, it's
Or yeah, heal wounds. Okay, roll a medicine check, and based on how well you do, he might get, I think, 2d8 hit points back.
treat disease, treat poison, treat wounds. Okay, treat wounds.
DC 15.
Hey, meet it exactly.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead and roll 2d8 hit points as you begin staunching his wounds and healing him just with your skill.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's rough.
Oof. Oh. Have you used your hero point?
Can I?
Yeah, any reroll. If you want to
reroll
reroll those
two
2d8,
Okay.
I'd be okay with that.
All right. I can't get worse.
There you go, 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it really can't get worse, huh? Okay, cool. So that puts Madden at 8 hit points.
And then, yeah, that takes what is it? It takes time too. It's 10 minutes of trying to heal him with the kit. Seeing that he's still very badly hurt, he will use his divine font, his healing font magic. Doesn't use a spell slot to give him a heal. 1d10 plus 8. Make sure I'm targeting him.
All this fuss for little scratch.
Oh, you look better than that devil.
Okay.
And,
All right, Madden. You take
Meanwhile,
some good
oh,
heals.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, meanwhile, Sabriel, having rushed over to see if Madden was all right, realised that Milo was taking care of him, so he walks up and down the beach, making sure that any of the creatures they killed are definitely dead. He's got his long sword out, and he's just stabbing them just to make sure, each one of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you go ahead and stab these creatures, making certain that they're definitely dead. You see them twitch and twist, and as your sword comes out, like, just no longer moving, just nothing but the ichor that was filling their bodies as it bleeds out onto this sand, with the rain washing it away almost immediately. You are healed, and you know, at least from Milo's research and his ability to know things, that this was a sea devil. And it had some 3 creatures with it. You do recall that it was up here where there was a little campsite to the north, just kind of poking around some things when you first arrived. How would you all like to proceed?
How big is the sea devil? Is it also small or is it medium?
If I recall, it is medium.
Okay. I was just wondering if we can get proof of our kill here.
Well, we can make it small if we just take the head.
Aye. Let's do that.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that if you'd like.
And then we should stake the bodies up along the beach. Pass a message.
I like a message.
All right.
Let those
So-
that come after it know that they would be killed just as fast.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done good work here today. Madden, when you get the rage on you, you are you're a killing machine.
Yes. I'd like to say that it's useful, but, well, it's also dangerous.
Oh, true, you came pretty close to death. Milo saved you.
Oh,
Yes, you
Saren,
did.
Saren Ray
He
saved
kind
you.
And he claps Milo on the back.
Should we go look to the see what they're poking around at?
I think that's a good idea. Let's have a look at their camp.
After you, I'll actually go back to a stealth thing. Taking a breath.
Sabriel will make his way up the beach. He's keeping an eye on the water, though, just in case, because they move in communities, so he's watching out in case there are more of them. Because we're not in the greatest shape now.
Yeah,
Sure.
Madden, while they go search, he's gonna pull up a bunch of wood and actually start staking the bodies to the ground, impaling them.
Sure. So you begin making your way to the north while Madden is kind of making short work of these bodies. Small piece of house cleaning. Madden, you are no longer wounded. When you receive a treat wounds, it removes, and it's successful, it removes the wounded condition.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So you make your way towards the north, going towards this little campsite, and you see a few things, a couple crates that appear to be almost rotting, a barrel kind of up along kind of this little lean-to. You do see a body underneath this lean-to as you draw closer.
Is it humanoid, or was it do some kind of investigation to look at the body? Field check, or what do they call it? Medicine check, maybe? Or...
Yeah. So you notice that it is a human. Looks like they received kind of like a stab wound almost directly where their heart was. If you want to roll a heal check, you can to see, or a medicine check to see how long they've been dead. You can.
Ooh.
Yeah, this person appears to have been dead for about a day, and
I better tell the party.
you
It's too late. It's too far gone. I can't do anything.
How long
person
have they
appears.
been? How long have they been dead?
I'm sorry, did you ask?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, as either player, no, but it's it's a character.
About 24 hours. It's too late. There's nothing I can do. These damn devils.
Someone will need to be told. Someone will know this person's missing, but won't yet know they're dead. We've got some bad news to carry back with us.
Aye, we have. Look for any kind of identifying markers or any of their belongings nearby or anything like that.
Sure. They begin kind of like working through his belongings. He has a satchel. Kind of almost looked like he was a merchant of some kind, and begins kind of like go through and you find a little bit of silver, not too much. For like the let's see,
Party sheet?
probably find about. Oh, go ahead.
I said party sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Loot the dead guy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Return his
You don't
body
need it.
and take his silver.
You don't need none of it.
No, Milo would not be interested in that.
I'm sure the widow will understand. Yeah.
It's the price of return of doing a return package.
Yeah.
Chipping
Milo,
it.
Milo
Where's,
would not-
where's all
Milo
his
would not be
stuff?
okay with
Well,
that.
well, look, we have overheads. You know?
So
yeah,
you
no, I
guys
didn't take
find-
it serious.
You found 3 gold pieces, 37 or 35 pieces of silver, and about 30 pieces of copper.
Was that on him or the Sea Devil? Or the...
That was on him.
Okay. Okay. Well, we should take
Milo
that.
would want to return that to his family.
Yeah, definitely. Anything of their possessions though?
Oh, from the creatures?
Yeah, because that I am very much up for stealing.
Yeah, they
Weapons.
I mean, taking by right of conquest, obviously.
absolutely. Hey, man, it's yours. They had several. Let's see. The Sea Devil had a long spear, which you're more than welcome to leave. And the Grindylows actually had just regular spears. So the difference between the long spear and the regular spear is the long spear actually has reach. So I'm just going to use your tokens to describe. Normally you have to be adjacent if you're making a melee attack, but with a reach weapon you can be 1 square away and still make an attack. Let me go ahead and put that in your inventory, and then y'all can decide whether or not you want to keep it. Bloop. Okay. Do you guys want those spears at all, or would you like me to just convert it into money?
That's right. You just want to hand wave the going to the market and selling it, the whole process.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
those are little details I don't
Sure.
want to track us.
Sure. Yeah, we can turn it into money. I don't want to. I want to keep separate the money that we got from the dead person from the money we get.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll return that.
I think I know somewhere about that.
Sure. So then, just to clarify, 3 gold pieces, 35 silver, and one of you guys can write this down in your sheets, and
I'm
30
putting it
copper
in my
pieces.
sheet. Here's 3 gold.
hmm
How much silver?
I wrote it in chat.
Oh, there it is. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
30 silver. Thank you.
No, you're problem. No problem.
All right, you can take it out of the. I guess I can take it.
If you're gonna, I'll go ahead, and if you guys are definitely keeping it secret, let me go, or not secret, separate. I'll go ahead and just take it out of
Yeah,
what's currently
yeah,
there.
It's in my backpack now.
Sure.
And there's nothing else on his pack to help identify this person. Do we have any sense that he was from Cantargo? He was from this village we just came from, or is there anything we can glean?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a society check.
So who are you? If anyone else wants to look along with me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I can give that a go. Does that count as an assist, or do we make separate rolls?
Separate rolls, unless you're specifying that you make an assist, and
Yeah.
generally you have to do that before the roll.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Society. Hey.
Much better.
So Sabriel, just gonna move your token closer because that's where the body is. As you begin kind of looking over the body, just what he's wearing and the like, you get the very strong impression that he is a smuggler. You don't really see any type of identification or anything like that on him, but in that satchel with the money, you do see a note.
Oh, I'll pull it out and look at it. And I'll mention to the others that, perhaps we won't find a next of kin after all. I thought at first he was a merchant, but I'm now thinking smuggler. This is an out-of-the-way spot. Let's have a look at this note. And he sort of pulls it out to have a look at it.
Sure. So the note says, at the very top it says, Connor, comma. Those damn Diabloists keep wanting to get their stuff into Ravenel. I know that we've had a contract with them to be able to do it, but I'm really having second thoughts. I think this will be the last drop that we do for them. After that, we're done. Can't do this anymore. We know what the fruit of Asmodeus's worship was. And we were making some good coin, but it's just not worth it. Back out while you still can. Sincerely, Jack.
Very interesting.
This poor fool.
Yeah. So yeah, Sabriel will kind of read that and show it to Milo, and then he'll take it over to Madden. So we should keep that to show the mayor. But I think we know a little bit more now about how those materials got into town. Perhaps we should. Now, hold on. What was the name on this again? The name of the other person, Connor?
Yeah, it was addressed to Connor, and it was from Jack.
Okay. I'm trying to think if we've met anyone by either of those names. I'm presuming that this is Connor and that this is Jack, and that I don't think we've met Connor, have we?
I
Am
would
I right?
assume that this was Connor, unless he'd written a note and he hadn't delivered it. I would assume that this guy.
Oh right, yeah, no, you're right. It probably was. I was assuming that was the case, but no, I think
Received the note.
probably received it,
Here's his note.
and that's yeah.
I suppose we can ask around town if anyone knows of a Connor or a Jack.
We could bring the body back with us. But
Yeah, we should.
if that note was addressed to him, then he still has a partner out there. If that note was addressed to someone else, then there's someone else involved with what they call a diabolist, which means he's guilty of smuggling in. He could have even killed himself, or the diabolist could have killed him. It may not have even been the devils.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was the devils, but well, who knows? I think perhaps the shopkeeper might know, and if not, at least he should know what kind of people he's dealing with. This might prick his conscience a little. I must say I was surprised that he was so comfortable with dealing with these people, but perhaps this will change his mind. But first we should report to the mayor, I think. We've not only ended the Reefclaw threat, but the Sea Devil one as well. This is a good day. And, well, if these are ill-gotten gains, perhaps the mayor would let us keep them.
I assume he would. Let us return to the town. Do we bring this body with us? I can't carry it.
Yes, bundle it up, I'll carry it. At the very least, it might be good to see people's reactions.
I can help you carry it. You could take the arms, I'll take the legs, perhaps.
Or would you like to cut it in pieces?
Oh.
Sabriel chuckles at that and then just has a moment of like, wait, you are joking, right?
Is he? Is Madden joking? I don't know. Honestly.
Man doesn't even look at it after he says it. He just starts bundling up. He'll kind of like put on his shoulder like a fireman's carry.
Okay.
All right. Was there anything else we found around here that pretty much covers that? Just to make sure we're not.
Yeah, I'll take the head of the Sea Devil and I'll give Milo the note.
Got the note. Got the coin.
Yeah, I'm assuming Madden found enough wood to kind of stake impale the whatever creatures' bodies there were there along the shoreline.
Yeah. There are several bodies along the shoreline, and you are or you found enough wood, rather, whether it be driftwood or remnants of ships that have broken apart or what have you. You have enough to stake the bodies on the shoreline.
Good. As they leave, Madden would smile as he walks past them.
What did
So,
you call
at
the
this-
they were smuggling for whom? What did they call them?
Diablo.
The Diabloists.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. And all of you would know that that's essentially it's a term that they would use for worshippers of Asmodeus, people who worship devils.
Right.
So the party gathers up the gear, the body, and begins to make their way back towards Akasazi. At this point of time in the day, it is fairly late. You've moved to the west on foot. You've moved to the. I see what I did now. Then you came back to Akasazi. It's probably about 2 or 3 by then, making your way up north, looking around. It's about 5 or 6. So you begin making your way towards Akasazi again. Go ahead and share that map if you don't got it. But it's kind of a bit of a trek, and night begins to fall before you're able to get home. As you are looking about, you know that you could very easily make a shelter for yourselves, but you see within walking distance, not too terribly far, is the lighthouse that I mentioned earlier. How would you like to proceed?
Yeah, lighthouse. Yeah, seems like a safe place.
Yeah, I apologize. I was kind of zoning out. You said that basically it's getting to nighttime. We maybe should think about resting, and that we come upon a lighthouse. Is that what the gist?
Yeah, it's about, I would say it's, by the time you get everything together, you start traveling back, it's about 7 or 8. It's getting dark. You can see that there is a lighthouse, the one that I mentioned earlier that you passed. In fact, I'll say, as you're walking towards it, it's just turned on its light, and it's kind of going on in full swing. So you can go there, or you can stay out in the wilds. It's entirely up to you. Or you can continue to push forward to Akasazi and hope to make it before it's too late.
Sure. As the sun goes down and I see as the lighthouse is lit up, Milo would be excited and say, "A light in the darkness is always a good omen." Let's go see who's here. Surely this is a safe place for us to rest from the darkness.
Yeah, I would assume so. Nothing bad could happen inside of a nice secured building. He doesn't say it with sarcasm either. He
That's
just
why
says
laughing. But yeah. Yeah. Milo is optimistic that anyone who runs a lighthouse can't be bad people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I have to remember where I put this damn map.
What do you think, Sabriel?
Sabriel is kind of considering the lighthouse, and he looks and says, "Well, it seems to be functioning. Probably means it's the lighthouse keeper there. I'm not normally too keen on wandering into dwellings in the middle of nowhere, but this seems safe enough." Famous last words. So he says, "Yeah, I think we should. Here, we may have to set the lighthouse keeper's mind at rest that we're turning up with all these dead things, but at least it's all stuff that the lighthouse keeper would hopefully want to see dead."
I just gotta say, guys, out of character, you're really nervous about this or something. And I don't know why. Sensing a lot of emotions.
Yeah, you know, we try not to bring our meta into this, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
We haven't learned that yet.
So yeah, Sabriel in character is really just more worried about freaking out the lighthouse keeper. He does feel that there's quite a lot going on this coast, so he doesn't feel inherently that things on this coast are safe. But this seems safe. You know, the light's on. Someone's doing the job. It's going to be the lighthouse keeper, but he doesn't want to freak him out. But thinks he's going to be fine. So yeah, he'll be keen to push in.
Oh, the map
Sure.
even has a name.
The map even has a name. So your crew begins to make its way towards. Oops, there we go. Your crew begins to make its way towards the lighthouse in the distance. You see the light ablaze, definitely lighting up the night, and it's a friendly and a very welcome sight. Especially, after the fights you've had and dealt with today. I mean, it's nice to be able to see some semblance of civilization. So yeah, your crew can begin to make its way towards the lighthouse. Move your tokens whenever you feel so ready.
Milo will.
The way you said, you guys seem very suspicious, and then immediately there's a top-down map.
Wanderer. I feel attacked.
Lots of safe and friendly.
We're about to feel attacked. Do I
Exactly.
Can I tell where the front of this is? I feel like I'm following a path here. Is there a door? Is there a gate? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of goes. The path heads this way,
Yeah.
and then kind of comes up this way or on the coast, and that there's a gate right here.
Milo will reassure Sabriel. You make a fair point. We bring these carcasses with us. I suppose you might want to keep those near the back, Madden. Allow me to greet the lighthouse keeper as a fellow lover of light. Perhaps it might be best if I break the ice.
Yeah, and Sabriel slightly reluctantly puts the head of the sea devil into a sack because he knows it's going to ruin the sack. But he does that just to keep it outside.
Oh, yeah. And Milo will proceed. He says, "You may follow it a little bit of a distance." So is this where I get the sense that this is around the front door here?
Yeah, you feel like the front door is right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm looking at.
There is a door there, right here.
So I would knock on the door and say, greetings. We come in peace. For the dawn brings new light.
Yes, I will get it, old man. As you hear that, you hear kind of like a heavy thud, like coming towards the door, metallic in nature as well. And the door opens. What you see is this man, helmet off, standing in the doorway. Milo.
Yes.
This person is wearing all black armor with the symbol of Asmodeus on kind of like a brooch, essentially, where their cloak is attached to. Has a flail at their side and just looking at you intently.
Yeah. Milo's face will quickly, go from a happy smile to that'll just drop immediately, and he's really freaked out and lost for words. Does the man say something before Milo Because Milo's kind of jumped up beside this person.
Yeah. Yeah, the man looks at you and essentially is like, "You've come here in the beginning of the night. We have already taken up lodgings here. Isn't that right, old man?" Yes, they said they paid me fairly to be able to sleep here tonight. I do think that we could have a few other people rest if they need to. Person clearly grimaces on hearing that, clearly just kind of like frustrated and angry. Not as if they're going to attack, but more so annoyed. Milo and Sabriel and Madden, as you draw closer, you would realize very quickly that these are Hell Knights. They aren't necessarily agents of Cheliax, although they're based in Cheliax, essentially like a third-party organization that enforces the laws of the land with the strict discipline of Asmodeus and Hell itself. The person looks at you, steps out of the way of the door, and essentially like invites you in.
Milo is kind of frozen in place. He's just, he feels like that 13-year-old boy we started this whole thing with. Kind of freaked out. He just takes a gulp and says, I think we're being welcomed here.
It doesn't look like much of a welcome.
Aye.
While you
Still.
are free to come in, this is not my lodgings, and if this man has invited you in, it is his property, it is his land, and you may come in.
Can we see how many Hell Knights are inside?
Yeah, you would see the one you just met, and then kind of like looking in at the table, you would see another kind of lounging back.
Yes. And I kind of look over at Saber and Milo.
Sabriel's face is stone. He is just glaring at this Hell Knight. Just like it's kind of as if someone had kind of walked up to him and said, "Yeah, I kicked your dog and peed on your carpet. That's fine, right?" And he's just got that look of just like, how can you just be standing there wearing that thing? It's kind of anger and disgust warring on his face. And then he gathers himself and says, "Well, we've been invited in. We mustn't be rude, must we?" And he puts a hand on Milo's shoulder and gives him a tight smile, and then walks past him into the room.
Is the Death Knight still at the door there, or is he just kind of go walking back in?
So yeah, he kind of like, it's clear that as you walk in, he kind of like stands by the door and is clearly kind of sizing you all up as you enter. Now, all three of you would know the Hell Knights are infamous for what they do and their role, as well as their role in the occupation of Ravenel. They helped to enforce those laws, like we saw at the top of the session tonight. You would also know that these three look very tough, very difficult.
We also know that we agreed not to kind of just attack people on sight, and that much as we may hate everything these guys stand for, they're not technically doing anything illegal that we know about at the moment. So, we're kind of in a situation of having to be polite. That's the way that Sabriel sees it, certainly.
Yeah, man's kind of looking like if he could pull the one outside, if he might be able to kill him before he the ones get him. But as he's sitting there, he's kind of thinking too. He's, it might be beneficial to kind of keep an ear on them as if they have any conversations. Maybe there's more in the area that he'd be able to get to as well later. So he'll kind of throw the body off to the side, not gently, just kind of toss it. Yeah. Oh, come on, Milo. You look like you're seeing a ghost. And he'll walk in, eyeballing the one that's by the door.
Sabriel will kind of go in a bit further and say, Milo, this is the second time we've seen these symbols today, right? There were quite a lot on all that stuff we burned earlier.
Milo is not saying a word. He's super fucked up.
Not to mention all the ones we've seen on the dead bodies.
Frank, I think your voice effect is on right now. Milo's not responding to any of that. He's super freaked out. He wants to go to a room and get away from these guys right away.
So just so I'm clear, did you say that about the burn thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's not wise, but he's very angry.
Yeah. So you do that, and both it's. Have any of you seen Breaking Bad?
Sure.
Yep.
Do you know that scene where Skylar and Walt are talking, and forget his name, the kid just had his name. He's just sitting there drinking. What?
Walter Jr. Isn't it? Or no?
No. Walt's assistant, the kid.
Yeah.
Chemistry class.
Sure.
So there's this
Jesse?
scene where
Jesse.
There's a scene where Jesse is like, Walt and Skylar are having this very awkward conversation, and it's quiet for a moment, and he reaches for this glass of water, and he drinks it for an especially long period of time, and it's just icy in the room when you say that. You can see the lighthouse owner kind of in the middle of all of it. His jaw drops, looks at them. They kind of steal their gaze at you, Sabriel, specifically, and kind of grit their jaw. The change of the Hell Knight kind of that was sitting down, picture him as his feet are up on the dinner table, gets very serious very quickly looking at it, and it's just quiet.
Yeah, Madden hearing Saber say that, he'd chime in. Not to mention all the dead ones we fought when we overthrew their government in our land.
That was a good day.
Do any of you have silver ravens, emblems or anything? Maybe a brooch or anything like that on your person?
On my person, yes, not obvious though, because we'd try not to be obvious.
Yeah.
If Milo was given one whenever he was first recruited, then he would be wearing it.
Yeah, I believe that Madden, if he had one, would definitely be wearing it as well.
Yeah. Okay. So all three of you are wearing your Silver Ravens things, and their eyes immediately go to it as they. This one that was sitting down kind of stands up, and they're just looking at you. The one in front that opened the door for you just looks, the deathly glare. Well, tries to break it with a smile. Even the dogs get scraps from the table, I suppose.
Aye. But you don't get to sit at the table to get those scraps, dogs.
Sabriel will turn round to the lighthouse keeper and say, where are my manners? And he'll make a definite contrast in his expression. And it's a little forced, but he gives a smile and says, I am Sabriel. Thank you very much for inviting us here. How much do we owe you for the lodgings?
The lighthouse keeper looks at you. Oh, not much. We only have a few piles of straw, really, and a roof over the head. I think a few copper for each of you would be more than sufficient.
And Sabriel will say, "Well, that is most kind. It's a cold night out there, and we do appreciate the lodging." And he'll give him a silver piece.
Okay.
How do I deduct that?
You should be able to go to your character sheet and under inventory.
I can see silver pieces. I'm just not quite sure how to.
Is it not allowing you to augment the gray box under 9 by SP?
I don't see it now. I can click on it and it doesn't.
Oh, you have to retype
Change.
the number.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's.
Ah,
you
got it,
you
got it,
gotta
got it.
remember. It's,
I didn't see a cursor.
it's-
Yeah, that was okay.
cursor.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Brandon. Bees. Only once tonight.
Nope, that was actually the second time. That's all right.
Dang it! So Sabra, you give him the silver and, thank you. I wish we could offer you better lodgings. I would, but, takes kind of like a big gulp. The guest quarters are already taken by these other guests here. And as you look over at them, they kind of like smugly smile at you. And they begin kind of like walking off towards their rooms. Yes, we will be in our beds tonight.
Madden.
Have fun in your straw.
But I hope you sanitize those rooms after, because you got a lot of trash that's about to sleep in there.
So they begin walking away. This
And,
one, though.
as they do walk away, Sabriel will say, "Thank you. We will have fun on our straw. Have fun burning in hell."
Oh man, and Milo says nothing. He keeps it so cocky, and this whole time he's just like dumbstruck. He's so scared of these guys.
Sabriel is too, but he's more angry than he is scared.
Sure.
Sabriel, go ahead and roll me a reflex save.
Where it all goes south.
Have fun burning in hell.
They're looking forward to it.
Yeah, 20.
We go ahead and roll something here. So, Sabriel, before you can react, this guy turns just quick as lightning, and he's just in your face. Like you don't like, you're not able to jump out of the way or move or anything. He's just right there, and he just whispers, "I look forward to it. I look forward to you coming with us."
And Sabriel
then
just
he-
meets his gaze and looks at him. Yeah, so he is actually, underneath it, he is actually scared of this guy, but he's so angry at just seeing them here and all the memories it brings back that he's, his anger's even stronger. And he'll just glare into the guy's eyes. If the guy's any judge of character, he'll probably see Sabriel's fear underneath, but he's trying
You know
to
what?
hide it.
I tell you what. Go ahead and roll me a will save, and we'll use that to decide whether or not you can hide it good enough.
Okay.
And I'll set the DC at. Well, he probably has an intimidate check, so let me find out what that is, and yeah. So yeah, he rolled a total of a 23 against your 16. How does that look?
So Sabriel looks him in the eye, and he does try and look defiant, but also he, without him realizing it, his body language is really actually quite defensive, and as the guy leans forward, he actually leans back before he can stop himself. And it's subtle, but it's also pretty obvious to anyone who's looking that he's not, that he's trying to be defiant, but actually underneath it, he is intimidated by this guy.
Yeah. So as that happens, he just smiles, just a knowing smile that he got underneath your skin. Sits back and looks at all three of you. Begins to kind of walk up the stairs. Looks back at Madden specifically and says, I think you need to take care of that scared young sheep that you have. And as he's walking up, you hear him say, you can fight as long as you want. But everyone knows that what once was his shall be again. And they walk upstairs, just a few thuds. You kind of hear them ruffle and get into their beds.
And as is often the way of these things, Sabriel can't think of anything to say in the moment, and then after they've gone, he just sort of mutters, bastards. And he looks like he's struggling for something to say. He's struggling, and he's annoyed at himself. He's annoyed at them, and he turns to the innkeeper, to the lighthouse keeper, and with strained politeness, he says, "I'll be back shortly. I just need to go for a walk. I just need to clear a nasty taste from my throat." And he storms out the door and just about stops himself from slamming the door. And there he stands outside, and quite a lot of swearing in Elvish can be heard outside. You don't know the words necessarily, but the tone is obvious.
How about the rest of you?
Madden wasn't afraid at all. He's angry. He wants them dead. He just, he's only being polite. Now he realizes he's not going to get much information from them if they sitting down. He's just trying to find ways that he can get the upper hand in anything if anything was to happen during the night.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Milo wants to be out of earshot and just ask the innkeeper what they're here for, what is their business, like what is happening, why are these people out here? I would want to talk to my party mates about this as well, but I would not in the presence of them. I don't want to talk about them in front of them, or even talk to them.
Sure. So, so the lighthouse keep, he essentially just sits down with you all. What is going on here? Sorry. Lighthouse keep is kind of over here. Almost looks like he's brewing a cup of tea at kind of like a small little kitchenette that he has. It's nothing too crazy. He's kind of working at a stove, and he just looks at you as if saying shh. I don't want to get in trouble. I just want them to leave the next day. I just know that they came in here and asked for lodgings, and I'd mind me and they're them, and what was I going to do all by myself? I can't say no to them. They would kill me. They could kill me.
Not while we're here. We will keep you safe.
He looks at you, especially after, how you acted back towards, and he's just like, I appreciate it, son. And kind of gives you a patronizing pat on the shoulder.
That's appropriate.
So Madden's gonna kind of move around and look. He wants to know of all the entrances, exits. He wants to know what the building's made out of on the outside and the inside.
Sure. So it's Mostly wood, built on kind of a stone foundation that they were able to level off. You kind of see a stone gateway around. You know that the lighthouse itself goes up maybe another 3 or 4 stories to be able to light the area sufficiently. Looks like there's a guest quarters over here. I don't know if you could see where I'm pointing.
There it is.
And looks like there's kind of a couple rooms there. One that's presumably the lighthouse keeper's personal space, and then kind of a secondary room for guests, or maybe if you had kids or what have you. You're in kind of a kitchenette living space area that's just the whole house isn't terribly large. It's about, this one room is about 20 feet across, and aside from the personal room, it's pretty much the extent of like the living space. The lighthouse itself is made of wood, including the spire that leads up. The shingles are not made of wood. They're made of almost kind of like almost like a sticky tarish type material to help whisk rain away from the roof.
All right. And then Madden, as he's walking around, taking it all in, would look at the lightkeeper. Is it just you and your wife here?
He looks at you and he's well, it was me and my wife. She passed.
Continue moving around looking. And then he'd go, noticing that Saber went outside, he would start walking towards the outside. And come out and look at Sabriel. Are you alright?
Wander, are you there?
Sorry, I was muted. He's there just by the door. He's still kind of muttering to himself, and when he sees Madden come out, he looks over and says, I'm sorry I let him get under my skin. I was aware that at that distance he'd have a huge advantage over me. And he knew it. They smell fear, bastards. It annoys me we have to be polite to them. They can wander about freely bearing that symbol that presided over murder and tyranny. Disgusts me. And I'm so annoyed that I didn't stand up to him better. I'm still too weak. I'm still too weak, too fearful. I have a lot to work on.
Don't worry about it. However, yes, we said we may, but if you remember our conversation at the end, no promises were made that we'd uphold that. The order, not messing with those who represent Amadeus.
Aye. But also, if we were to fight them, I'm not sure how it would go. You're injured, and I have no spells left apart from mere cantrips. Milo's probably the same, I don't know. And they were capable. You must have seen it in the way they moved. They're well equipped. I don't think much of our chances.
And that is only part of the problem. The other problem is that we use our terrain to our advantage. If we trap them in their room and light the place on fire, they're bound to die.
True, but at what cost? The lighthouse keepers living? Perhaps innocents would die on the rocks here with no lighthouse. I can't in all conscience risk it. But he smiles, he says, but I do find the concept entertaining. The thought will help me sleep tonight, thank you.
Yes, well, just keep it in mind. This place is built to go up like a torch. If worst comes to worst, It's just the lighthouse keeper we have to move out.
True. And if they
Wood-
start something, then I agree.
Yes. Wood is meant to be rebuilt.
That's true as well. Yeah. As I say, though, unless they start something, I can't feel comfortable with it. But if they should, well, yes. That would be a fitting end.
Yes.
Looking forward to burning, are they? Ha!
Well, then at that point, you should go to rest. You might need your spells in the morning.
Yes, thank you. I will just do a little reading and a little practice before bed. Still so much to learn.
Yes. I'll take the watch.
Thank you. I'll take my turn too. We should go in and check on Milo. But thank you for coming out.
Madden nod his head. Go back inside.
As you enter, Milo is attempting some diplomacy, some pastoral counseling when he heard that the Lightkeeper's wife passed away. He's trying to just listen to this man's stories and to try to be present. He feels a little bit insulted that the man didn't respect him as a clergy person, and so now he's trying to he's really trying to prove that he's got it. He's got the power of Saren Ray on his side, so he's trying to win him over.
Sure. So yeah, you're talking to this man, and he is just sitting there at the table. And so, what are you exactly saying to him?
Oh, it would have started with I'm sorry for your loss, and I was raised by a single mother. It's hard to be alone. She used to work here with you?
Oh yes, Mary and I, we own this lighthouse for, well, since it was handed down to me.
Milo laughs and says, "Family business."
Yeah, he smiles and he says, "Yes, we get a small stipend from Contago for keeping this place safe, keeping people off of the rocks. Nakasazi gets a little bit in as well because they do some fishing around here every so often." I picture that the two of you are sitting there, and maybe you each have like a cup of tea to kind of end the evening on.
Yeah. Milo would remark on how it is truly a blessing to bring light into the darkness. You are doing good work here.
Well, thank you, lad. I appreciate it. We do what we can, but it's hard, especially with everything going on right now, at least. And Mary only died a year ago, so still adjusting.
Of course. What has been going on lately out here with you?
Go ahead and roll me a diplomacy check. And add a +2, because you've been very pastoral towards him.
All right, this will be this +2. Come on. Oh. 13.
Yeah. DC's not super high, so...
I wanted to. I was looking at the what do you call it? The condition of frightened, because I have this ability to, like, it's called no need for alarm, no cause for alarm. It allows me to use a diplomacy check to lower frightened conditions. I just thought that was kind of cool. I don't think it comes into play right now because he's not necessarily frightened in this moment, or is he? I thought that was
You're
cool.
asking if Milo is, or if the library...
If the lighthouse keeper was, but
Gotcha.
I just thought this was a cool ability. I want to keep it in my back pocket. I can reduce panic essentially with a diplomacy check.
Yeah, I would say that's successful. It's just after talking to you, because he did seem really shaken up. And truth of the matter is he's a citizen of Ravenel just as much as you all are, and so he knows. Maybe he was out here, kind of in the boonies, but he still is aware of the horrors of what Cheliax did. So yeah, you notice he kind of like takes a deep breath as he's talking to you, and you could kind of see a calm come about. Yes, well, yes, no. In terms of what's been happening lately, mostly just fishermen. The occasional boat comes by. Just do our best to keep them all safe.
Oh, he just says that it was difficult lately. I was wondering if there's anything extra going on, anything in particular that's especially hard. Anything we can help you with?
Oh, well, I think after this night we'll be fine. We just need to just move on. Looks at you and chuckles. And with that, he actually kind of looks down and he says, and on that note, I really want this night to be over. And he smiles at you, so I'm going to go sleep so the day comes quicker.
Yes. Well, the dawn brings new light. Milo says says good evening.
So yeah, you look at him, and he actually nods at you and reaches kind of into his, like, he has like some type of chain. Kind of like brings up the cuff of his collar and pulls it out, and you see the symbol of the Dawnflower. And he says, "The dawn brings new light." And he takes a big breath at you, nods, smiles, puts a hand on your shoulder, this time not in a patronizing way,
Nice.
and kind of wishes you well before going to bed.
Nice. Milo feels much better now, having met another faithful member of the church.
So during that time, at some point, the innkeeper, or the lighthouse keeper rather, would have kind of brought you around back here, where there's kind of like almost like a little barn of sorts. A couple mules are there, but you do see that there are several beds of straw, and the animals are essentially sleeping for the evening. That's just where it is when you all are ready to go to bed, but the floor is yours.
Well, I guess it's off to our straw beds for the evening.
Will says, I'll stay up a little longer. And he, I don't think he has the light spell. Let me just check. Yes, he does. He lights up a light spell and pulls out his spell book and says, I just need to do a little study before I sleep. And he sort of gives you a sort of tight smile, and then turns to his studies and is immediately lost in his book, trying to contort his hands into positions that he can't quite make yet, and muttering to himself, "No, no, no." He's very deep into his thoughts almost immediately.
I think Milo will. So we are like in a barn essentially. Like, where are we exactly?
So you are allowed to kind of like use the living area of the lighthouse, which is where all three of you are in right now. It's essentially, it's very simple. It's a table, a couple chairs, the little kitchenette kind of where Milo is, and then maybe like a little sitting corner over here. Might be like one single bookshelf with a few smatterings of books. It's very, very sparse, and then there's the entryway. You know, essentially, for you to be able to go to sleep tonight, you need to go outside, kind of go around the lighthouse, and you would essentially be spending the night right where the arrow ends,
Just
right
kind of
here.
covered outside.
Yes.
Ah. All right. Well, I guess Milo would proceed that way. Sorry, just moving myself all South Park filming style. And you said, is it an overhang or is it actually indoors?
It's an overhang.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not
So we're
actually
literally
indoors.
staying outside. Okay.
Yeah, but you have a roof over your head.
Sure. And
Rain.
Milo would actually take off his robe and do his best to like hang it for the evening, so it's been wet from all the rain, and he wants it to look good in the morning. So we'll try and
Sure.
dry clean it as best he can to wipe away any smudges and hang it so it's not wrinkled in the morning.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Madden, how about you?
Yeah, Madden would, as he sits there for a little while, would mosey his way to where they're sleeping, I guess, and he's not going to sleep heavily. He's going to take the first watch or whatever.
Sure. Okay, so then, just so I'm clear, Sabriel is alone in the living room, correct? And you're kind of like standing watch right here?
Yeah, I mean, he would sit there until everybody's ready to go. He wouldn't leave anybody alone in the building with him.
Sure. So Sabriel, you're sitting at the table, your light spell there, just kind of keeping the place with the light aglow, and kind of open up your book and you begin reading through it. Again, you're not getting everything that you want. Your hands aren't making the correct movements, the words are coming out wrong. You feel like you got it, but there's some type of weird mental block. One of the Hell Knights actually comes up. In the middle of the night, you hear kind of like the door open, and they essentially come. You hear it's not long after Madden leaves. They're not in their armor and wearing essentially kind of like a long tunic. Kind of looks at you and shoots a glare, but otherwise stays quiet. And then
Watch him.
kind of goes to like a little water pail, gets a cup of water, slowly drinks it while looking at you in the eyes, and then just stands there looking at you for a good second. And then just like very quietly looks at you. Your eyes are deadlocked with hers. Yeah, I think you would make a good Hell Knight. I could see it in you. And she has this big grin as she says it. And then just walks off.
Sabriel just kind of grinds his teeth. There's 100 things he wants to say, and none of them seem adequate. Because what he really wants to say is just die. And he just has to kind of clamp his mouth shut to avoid kind of just saying that. And he just, as she leaves, he kind of counts to 10 and calms his breathing. And then he just slams his book shut and just stalks round the outside of the, I guess out here, and round the outside of the building, and comes just striding round here as Matt's watching.
So really quick, before you make it around the bend,
Oh, okay.
you don't know if it's the rage, you don't know if it's the fury, you don't know if it's the 10-second breath, but you get this epiphany that clicks in your head where some spell that you were working on, some part of it just clicks You don't know exactly, like, but there's that moment in your brain. You could just feel it, where you know if you were to do the thing you were trying to do right now, you could do it.
Interesting. And yeah, he'll make the gestures. Yeah, he won't actually cast the spell, but he'll make the gestures, and he'll mouth just half the words just to kind of check that they fall into place.
Yeah, as you're doing it, it feels right. Like you've done it 1,000 times before, and you're like, I don't get this right. I'm not getting this right. You've done it 1,000 times before. Finally, for whatever reason, it feels smooth. It feels right. At that same moment, Madden, you're overlooking Milo as he's sleeping. And I don't know if it's the rage or the anger from your encounter with the Hell Knights, but you begin to feel this fury just build up inside of you like you almost can't contain it. Just comes out of nowhere. What does he do?
Well, he as he feels it's coming, he just kind of sitting there. He starts off with like a tapping of the foot, and as he gets angrier and angrier, blast it all. We should just go in there and kill him. And he'll start trying to like walk it off a little bit, but he's making his way towards around the building because he's enraged. He knows he has a target.
Yeah. You feel, for some reason in this moment, you feel stronger than you've ever been.
Oh, jeez.
And Milo, at that moment that you like fall asleep, everything just kind of like gets quiet as you are dreaming. And at first, it's just the blackness that kind of greets you, the normal blackness of night. And then as you kind of open your eyes, you're in this beautiful, beautiful prairie. The sun is shining bright high above, and you are essentially in kind of like a white alb, but with no rope around the center. And it's just like this moment of peace with the sun of Saren Ray herself just pouring on you. And you feel this peace, you feel this moment of redemption. And in that moment, you see kind of like a silhouette against the back of a sun. And it's a dream. As it comes near down to you, and with kind of like two fingers up, almost like how like the Pope does it. It's like flying in front of you, just like billowing, filled with glory, and just says, "She has sought to bequeath you with more power in her name." And her fingers touch your lips, and you feel this surge of something inside of you that like feels right. Feels like your connection to Saren Ray is stronger. Feels like you understand her way a little bit more than you ever have before. And in that moment that essentially happens simultaneously for all of you, you level up to level 2.
Hey.
And we'll go ahead and end there for tonight.
Awesome.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice session. Thanks, Pranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good game. And that was interesting having them appear like that.
You know, I honestly wasn't certain whether or not you were going to attack them or not.
I'm so glad you didn't. It was a nice bookend too, with my story starting off with Hell Knight scaring the crap out of me.
And,
Yeah,
and then
you know-
session ends with Hell Knight staring the crap out of me.
Okay, so we're not going to do all the leveling up right now, but we're going to do the big part of it. and it's really super easy in Fantasy Grounds. So everybody
do we-
open up your sheet.
I
Everybody
was just
open up your
wondering-
character sheets.
I
Oh,
was
sorry,
wondering,
go ahead.
Prankster, though, do you want to do it when Zephyr's here? Because otherwise you might have to repeat it as my concern. I'm very happy to do it now. I just don't want you to have to duplicate effort.
You know what? It's so easy. I honestly don't mind doing it with
Cool.
Zypher later. And plus, leveling up is fun. So
It is.
I don't want to hold you guys back. All right. So here's what you're going to do. Go to the classes button on the right hand side of Fantasy Grounds, and you are going to select the class that you would like to level up in. So
Okay, I don't have
presumably
classes.
everybody wants to still like be a cleric, be a barbarian, and be a wizard. Literally all you're going to do is drag and drop the class, grab the little red box with the white dragon, drag and drop that box onto your character sheet where it says class and level on the main tab of your character sheet.
Do you have the classes button up? Sorry, so you don't have the button?
If you don't have the button up, go
I've
to
just
the...
added it. Yeah.
Great.
Oh, do you have access to it, Brandon, or no?
Oh, I do. I thought I heard someone say they didn't.
I didn't initially, and then I remembered how to do it with the cog. I got it. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. So after everybody does that, it's pretty easy prompt. You'll notice that they have filled in everything for you under your class abilities for things that you get automatically. They automatically upgrade your HP, your saves, all that jazz. That's not something that you have to worry about. The big thing is just a couple little tweaks for every person. Everybody gets to choose their own a level 2 feat for their class. So how you will do that is you'll go to the feats button on the right hand side. Okay. You'll specifically look up feats by level for you. And actually, my apologies, there's an even easier way to do this. I forgot about it. If you guys go to the your character sheets again, go to the main tab, go to the red button that says tracker and open that up.
It'll pop up.
Okay, you'll see feat quick filters in the mid part of that window. Click on the button that says class, and you'll notice that all of your level 2 feats are right there. So that way you don't have to mine through every single feat in the game. Really makes it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, I'm going to take cantrip expansion.
Cool.
And then I get a skill feat as well. I noticed just on that box that popped up where it's explaining what's there, I've got the feat quick filters, which makes it pretty easy as well.